What is going on, guys? So today we're going to talk about how to succeed doing the 16-8 intermittent fasting regimen. A lot of people have been asking me this one, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. First things first, you must enter this regimen without any other barriers. And when I say you must enter this regimen without any other barriers, I say that don't add any other types of diets. Get used to the 16-8. Stick to the 16-8 only. Focus on the 16-8 being the interjection for you to lose weight. Because here's the thing, we have a limited amount of willpower as human beings. If you focus on other things as well as the intermittent fasting regimen as 16-8, it's going to be taxing on your willpower. Eventually, one of the two things will break and cause a domino effect for the other to eventually break, as you'll feel that you failed in one and you'll probably just move yourself into failing the other. So I highly recommend that you focus on just doing the 16-8 when you are starting this process. A lot of people make the mistake to do the 16-8 mixed with a keto diet, or to do the 16-8 mixed with some sort of vegetarian diet, or do the 16-8 mixed with some sort of even calorie restriction. And I'll go ahead and talk about that in the next point. Now, the next point, do not focus on calorie restriction. Your main goal for the beginning portion of the 16-8 is to get used to fasting. If you've been eating morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, if that has been your routine, that is a biological habit that you've built over years. It is nearly rooted into your mind, into your brain. So what you need to do is you need to uproot that biological habit, because it'll be easy to fall back into it, or just hard to get into fasting if you don't uproot it. And how do you do this? Is by simply focusing on one thing. Now, calorie restriction is super important, and I'm not telling you not to focus on that eventually, but for the first 2 weeks, you can still lose weight simply from the fact that you're limiting your amount of time of eating. But the most important thing is to focus on the regimen itself. Once you completed that for 2 weeks, then you start paying attention to the calorie portions of the things that you are eating. And this will get you into the full swing of things. But number 2, focus only on 16-8, even at the expense of calorie restriction, until you are comfortable, which will be about 2 weeks. Number 3, no. And I repeat one more time. No cheat days for the first 2 weeks. Absolutely none. No weekends with your friends, cheat day. No, maybe on Sunday I'll eat something early, and no cheat days. You have to build a new habit, and you cannot fall into a new habit. You have to build it. So no cheat days at all. Make sure you're consistently doing the 16-8 every single day for 2 weeks until you can start to implement a cheat day. And when you do this, please ensure that there are not consecutive days, because it's going to drop you right back into the habit that you had before. And it's going to be hard to, all the work you did essentially, it's going to be hard to get back into the 16-8. So if you want the 16-8 to be successful, do not have any cheat days for 2 weeks minimum. Now, number 4, pick a good time frame that works within your schedule, in terms of your work schedule, in terms of what you do with the children, in terms of how you congregate with your family. All of that stuff have to be taken into account, and you have to construct a intermittent fasting system around that. So if you work in the morning, you might want to eat after work, or if you work in the afternoon, you might want to eat before work. Whatever it is, whatever makes it easier for you to eat and be under your control. Some people want to eat during lunch break and maybe take a 15-minute break to eat a snack to be within that time frame still. Whatever you need to do, just ensure that it is working within and around your life schedule, because if it's disruptive in any way, shape, or form, it is going to throw you off, and you don't want to be thrown off, especially for the first 2 weeks. So this is how you succeed with the 16-8. And the cool thing about the 16-8 is that all the studies that we have out there in terms of all of the intermittent fasting system, the most positive return and the most successful one of all of the regimens that we have is the 16-8 when we look at the individual studies and even meta-analysis. Most of the studies that show the 16-8 show a positive outcome with the 16-8, with the intervention group versus the control group. So you have at least that peace of mind of knowing that the 16-8 is very powerful and has shown itself in multiple studies, thousands of studies, to be very effective. So you have that peace of mind, but to make it successful, you have to uproot your biological habits, which means putting up as little barriers as possible for you to succeed with the 16-8. Hopefully this video has helped you guys, and of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one.